In this PowerPoint, I'm going to talk about website, database, and database attack, and how everything can involve around SQL injection. Well, first, let's start to getting to know what's a website. So, a website is basically a front end and a back end, web application that serve the nation in various way. For example, I have this front end in here, representation of a GUI, and I have front end as well. The front end code is on the left side, and the front end GUI is on the right side. So basically, that's how a front end website is made. So after the front end of a website, we have the back end. So the back end is composed of a database and other attribute. But here I will be focused on the database for the back end. And a backend definition of a backend is basically you know a collection of raw data that turn into a structural data. And here I have two different type of code, which is PHP, which mainly rests on the server side of the front end, and then I have the SQL, which is run on the backend side of the database. So this code is doing right here is the database, the SQL code basically is taking input from the PHP code, which is taking the SQL code is taking the username and username and password from the PHP code on the front end and insert it to a database. In this part, I will mainly talk about a database attack and then SQL injection. Database can be attacked or hacked in various ways using SQL injection, weak authentication, and privilege abuse. And today like I say, I will mainly focus on the SQL injection. Basically, what's the SQL injection? An SQL injection is raw SQL SQL code that a hacker or an attacker can always inject into a database in order to retrieve critical information from the database. And in order to do that, attacker always use tools. They have tools to attack the database. And I found three of the best tools that attacker always use to hack the database. One of them is BSQL Hacker, SQL Map, and then SQL Ninja. Those three tools are really useful for attacker in order to proceed and have a successful SQL injection. So after the attack, let's talk about defensive strategy to avoid database hack. So from my personal point of view, I don't think there's a way so we can stop a hacker or an attacker basically to stop an SQL injection. And the best way to avoid it is SQL injection in this situation is to trust no one, and then don't use any dynamic SQL or update all your patches on your database, and always turn on your firewall on your computer. The main one is to use appropriate privileges. So in conclusion, I will say nowadays we have all our data in database that are moving to the cloud. That being said, it's going to be really hard for us to prevent a database attack. It's always going to happen. Now it's going to happen more than ever.